Hello and welcome to Washington Exec's video series. I'm Amanda Ziadeh with Washington Exec, and with me today is Jimmy Norcross. He's a Senior Vice President of Agile Digital Solutions at CACI. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jimmy.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks, Amanda.
Of course. So, Jimmy, I understand that you lead a large organization within CACI that delivers enterprise resource planning systems and application modernization, operations and maintenance to the intelligence and defense communities, as well as federal civilian agencies. So, I wanted to start by asking if you can tell us a bit about what your team does and how agile software development plays a role in the solutions that you provide to government customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I talk about our business, Amanda, I talk about it in terms of modernizing technology at the speed of mission and putting information to and innovation to work, right? But in simple terms, what my team does is provide enterprise and mission technology to our customers. And as you said, the intelligence community, Department of Defense, and the federal civilian space. And when I talk about the enterprise area, I'm really talking about systems, business systems that are used by agencies to conduct their business, right? And when I talk about mission, I'm talking about things that those agencies use to carry out the mission of their organization. So in that sense, it's pretty simple, right? Enterprise and mission technology. And for all of our programs that span, the entire federal government, we use Agile. And we primarily use our ASF methodology for Agile. That's our Agile Solutions Factory approach. That's not the only approach that we use, depending on our clients' needs, but that's one that we often use to a large extent. One of the things that I'm very proud of about what we do is we get our customers, we take on a new customer, we get their technology and the operations and sustainment to what I call a steady state, right? And a steady state is, the idea there is we can get that at a steady state, and we can use more limited resources that the customer has, dollars, people, all those things, to apply those to modernization efforts, right? I mean, modernization is the key to getting rid of technical debt and everything in between. And that's what our people want to work on too. There's nothing wrong with operations and sustainment work, but I really want to flip that paradigm where we're spending more time on modernization and less time on the operations and sustainment. And once we get to that point, then we can introduce new things to our customers, like all the IRAD that we invest in, particularly around artificial intelligence and machine learning. So it's an exciting place to be, and I'm thrilled to be part of it with a great team and with great partnerships that we have with our customers.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with us. I also wanted to ask what federal agencies are relying on in terms of agile solutions and agile at scale capabilities. What are they relying on those tools for, and how can technology help with humanitarian crises?
Yeah, I mean, we often hear that modernization is moving faster than ever, right? I mean, it's almost a trite expression. But what Agile provides, gives us the ability to do, is to pivot and to evolve as things change, right? I'm a firm believer in that modernization is not a point in time. What's modern now, the modern approach now, may not be the approach in 9, 12, 15 months, right? So with Agile and Agile sprints, that gives us the ability to pivot, right? Such that we can be ready for those pivots. And then from the humanitarian perspective, we've been very fortunate to have a real impact on a number of our customers, during, one of the largest humanitarian efforts that we'll probably ever see, right? And obviously that's COVID and the pandemic. But with those technology shifts, we're able to adapt. We're able to, be scalable, provide that security and that user access, and be intelligent about it, right? Mm-hmm. So, when a number of, a year and a half ago, right, when COVID hit, every one of my programs, pivoted very, very quickly. All of my programs are using Agile. and they were able to pivot very, very quickly to a new way of doing business, and that included obviously, working remotely.
Mhm.
Um, Throughout the first 6 months of that, I expected, there to be kind of what I would call the other shoe to drop, but it never did. With Agile, we were able to continue on to deliver to our customers, and in some ways, even better than before. So it's been interesting to say the least.
Yeah, it seems like agile methodology was made for the pivots that the government and contracting community on both sides of the aisle needed for the pandemic, which is interesting enough.
It is no question about it, but it's a true partnership, right? It's not just like kind of the old school way of doing this is sending your provider off, to take these, 3 inches of requirements and come back in a couple of years.
Mhm.
It's a constant, iterative approach back and forth, and I think that's what drives better solutions. I know it drives better solutions in the end. So it's exciting.
Mhm. Absolutely. I understand CACI has two contracts in this realm. So, how is the company supporting the USDA and CBP with the technology and expertise it provides?
Yeah, we have more than two, but there are two that I can focus on. Right,
Mhm.
one is our United States Department of Agriculture web-based supply chain system, and that system is about acquiring, distributing, and tracking commodities, food. Right, and that system has been used for many years. We picked up that system about 6 years ago, and again, did a nice job of getting the infrastructure to a steady state. It's an SAP ERP system, and then that gave us the ability to use those scarce resources to build new technology, to get rid of technology debt, to provide more enhancements and modernization that the customers needed.
Mhm.
So before COVID, this program supported the National School Lunch Program. So it's really heartwarming, right? Providing 30 million school children, food every day. Um, as over the course of any given year through the system, we were procuring 6.5 billion pounds of food and about $4 billion of food a year. Then comes COVID, right? And if you think about the supply chain, you remember if you think about a year and a half ago, what was interesting is that people were hungry, yet crops were literally dying on the vine, right? That's because the supply chain was put on its head, right? A lot of the agriculture was being produced to go into restaurants and those things. Well, the food didn't need to go there anymore. It needed
Yeah.
to go directly to individuals. So
Mhm.
literally, food was dying on the vine, milk was going sour. So the administration and USDA put in a program called the Farmers to Family Food Box Program, and that was a program where we used in collaboration with the USDA customer, WebSCM, to procure and distribute $176 million boxes of food valued at over $6 billion. So the way we helped there was we used the system to track the food coming out of the farms, right, and getting to NGOs, and then ultimately getting to people, in the United States that needed the food.
Mhm.
And there's not much more heartwarming warming than that. It was a very successful program for the country, and we're quite proud of that, and in great partnership with United States Department of Agriculture. I'll say that the program that we maintained, WebSCM, is also used for international aid as well,
Hmm.
and we work with um, USAID on that aspect of it. So, when you add it all up, we're helping 280 million people in over 65 countries
Wow.
on any given year. So it's I mean, I can't think of a better mission than feeding people, right? So it's really great. It's really great.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other program I must mention is CBP's Beagle program, and Beagle stands for the Border Enforcement Applications for Government Leading IT. We see this as one of, if not the largest Agile implementations in the United States in the federal space. We leverage our ASF, as I mentioned before, our Agile Solution Factory, and we support over 100 applications, in this process. We do a ton of different work, but there are two aspects of it that I think really relate to kind of this humanitarian mission.
Mhm.
One was we helped CBP accelerate efforts to digitize non-citizen processing towards the goal of more efficient and effective immigration system. Obviously, everybody's very familiar with the surge on the southern border,
Mhm.
humanitarian crisis. We were able to help in easing that to a certain degree, and hopefully in the future that will continue to be leveraged and built upon as well. The second area was around vaccines for DHS. DHS was having a difficult time understanding who was vaccinated, who was not vaccinated. So we developed a program called the DHS Headquarters Vaccinate Our Workforce. Supports 125,000 personnel, and it really tracked where people were in the process because Customs and Border Protection was CBP was dealing with COVID just like the rest of us were, and this really kind of helped them get their arms around it. So we found a lot of satisfaction in that as well. So those are just two examples of kind of what I would call the humanitarian work that we're able to do through our work. So it's very rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the size and scale of those programs alone are incredible. So thanks for sharing the details about those. To close, I wanted to ask how CACI plans to expand its agile digital solutions in the future to help respond to these ever evolving needs.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, right? And as we've continued to use our Agile Solution Factory on bigger and bigger programs, and really doing Agile at scale. A lot of people do Agile, right? But we are doing it at scale. Not saying that others aren't doing it at scale either. But to do it at scale, we need to be constantly looking at how we do it, right? And evolving that as well. So what worked before might not work tomorrow, right? So we're continuing to, evolve that, right? We never assume that we figured it out, right? Because things need to continue to evolve.
Mhm.
Our customers' missions demands this, and so do our people, right? Our people want to continue to get better so that we can be more efficient and effective in the way in that we deliver services. We talk about our Agile Solutions Factory. I like to make the point with people that it's not the Agile software factory, right? It's the Agile Solutions Factory. So obviously, our ASF is a tool for software development, but it's far more than that too. It's for governance and strategy as well. So I think there's a real nuance there, but it's important to point out. When we talk about using our ASF, we're looking at solutions for now. We're looking at solutions for the near term, maybe 1 or 2 years out, and then solutions for the far term, right? Which is 3, 5, 6 years out. So for me, very exciting time to be in this business and in serving the federal government through driving enterprise and mission solutions. So we couldn't do this without great people and most importantly great partnerships with our customers. So it's a real honor for us.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time today, for sharing all this with us. Circumstances are certainly changing so quickly these days. So we look forward to keeping up with the pace of evolution in both the technology and services. So thanks so much, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
Amanda, thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
You too.